for a win that got them to 6-2, and they're headed to play the Saints rolling.
It's crazy. When you said the Giants, the first thing that popped in my mind was Busta Rhymes. I've been listening to his new album, and being on your New York, trying to give them a moral victory, we're not going to be able to do it. Don't be worried about the Buccaneers. Don't they have Tom Brady? Didn't he look great in the second half? Didn't he throw a touchdown to Evans? Didn't he throw one to Gronk? Yes. Don't they still have Fournette in the backfield? Like, they're loaded. Aren't they adding Antonio Brown
to
go with their offense as well? Okay, so I am not worried about Byron Leftwich is calling the plays on the sideline, and we know what they're doing defensively with Todd Bowles. This is a complete football team, the best one, along with the Seattle Seahawks that we have going in the NFC.
It is a complete football team that needed a little help from the referees at the end of a game. The Giants scored, and they were looking to get a 2-point conversion, and it was this play that led to a little controversy. Jones throws to Lewis, and then there's a flag that comes in for a PI call. The referees convene and then decide not to make the call, giving the Bucks the win. What do you think of this non-call, call, non-call?
That Jones to Lewis sounds like a law firm. And when you're a bad team, you're always looking at the officials to bail you out. And even though I believe that this is pass interference, Daniel Jones, you got to get that ball out and complete that pass, dog. You got to get that ball out. You got to get that ball out. Complete that pass, dog. And as a matter of fact, I needed Tom Brady to get 5 more points. I wanted this game to play longer. I needed overtime, Jacoby. I lost my fantasy league game yesterday because of this play.
Jalen, I have a conspiracy theory about the events that ended this game. I think when the referees they've got a little earpiece in their ear. And I think during the time while they're talking and we're all watching the replays at home, that someone's telling them whether they should make the call or not. And then they're like, all of a sudden, we discussed it and we came out with the perfect call. Watch. I don't have no evidence to support that theory, but that's what I think happens. Now, you mentioned Daniel Jones should have got that ball out earlier, and you're absolutely right. And he made some terrible interceptions in this game. He did look bad. Both of the times that he threw interceptions that you will see right now, I was screaming at the television, just throw the ball out of bounds. He's in the clutches of the defense, and he just throws terrible interceptions. These 2 interceptions were inexcusable. However, I walk away from this game feeling like Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. I was listening to the media today, and they're talking about how if they go 1-15 and they have a chance to pick a Fields or pick a Lawrence that they should, Daniel Jones made some great throws. Daniel Jones brought the team back and made this throw to Golden Tate at the end of the game. That is a pinpoint perfect throw, as some would even say a dime. That one to the tight end. Jalen, I thought that Daniel Jones looked good, and with those 2 interceptions, that's a simple mistake that's easily fixable for someone who's young in their career. I honestly watched this game and said, I think Daniel Jones took the team down the field at the end of the game and engineered a nice drive and put them in position to have that PI call controversial ending. I honestly feel that way. What do you think about that opinion?
Second-year quarterback, he's shown some arm talent, and I could tell the way you get enamored with his potential when you see him make that touchdown throw in particular. But Jacoby, you can't say that he's the guy that's shown you enough to make him your future franchise quarterback so far, because he continues to turn over the football. I saw that happen with the Eagles. And remember, Carson Wentz showed promise, and then he got hurt. And then he showed promise, and then he turned the ball over. That's what Daniel Jones does. Interception, fumble, long run, and then all of a sudden he stumbles. So I understand that this is not the position you want to draft in need in this year's draft. However, Dave Gettleman really better be paying attention to the progress of this quarterback, in particular without Saquon Barkley. Because if he continues to regress in certain instances, you may ruin his confidence, Jacoby. So I understand why you're excited about him, but you got to make that throw in a 2-point conversion. You got to make that throw. Get that ball out of there.
I agree with you. Now, with Tom Brady being so successful, we have to notice that Bill Belichick isn't exactly that. The Patriots are a dumpster fire. Really? And here's what Tom Brady's ex-head coach had to say about this season.
I mean, look, we paid Cam Newton $1 million. I mean, it's obvious we didn't have any money. You know, it's nobody's fault. That's what we did the last 5 years. We sold out and won 3 Super Bowls, played in the 4th, and played in an AFC Championship game. You know, this year we had less to work with. It's not an excuse. It's just a fact.
We're going to clap back. We're going to clap back.
An interesting interview from Bill Belichick. He said they sold out, they won 3 Super Bowls. This is not an excuse. They just had less to work with. It's just the facts. What do you think about his statement about this season and what he has to work with?
It's all facts. Look around the NFL. How many teams will mortgage whatever they have to in order to win 1 Super Bowl? He just said that they put their chips in the middle of the table, made 4 and won 3. And he's exactly right. You can't have an expensive backup quarterback if you're going to do that. You can't overpay a running back or a wide receiver if you're going to do that. You can't pay a top-tier pass rusher if you're going to do that. This was a rebuilding year. Most of their guys have opted out. Edelman got old. Their young players haven't really progressed. Tony Michel has dealt with some injuries. And so Bill Belichick is just being honest. We're playing against teams that's paying their quarterback $25, $30 million and won't win the Super Bowl. We're paying Cam Newton $1 million. We're paying Cam Newton $1 million. That's exactly what he said. They took a flyer on Cam.
That's a really good point, Jalen. And we'll move from Bill Belichick's approach to his roster to Daryl Morey's approach to his roster. He was on a press conference along with Doc Rivers, and they said they absolutely think that Embiid and Simmons can work together. Jalen, I know you've got a really good idea of what the future holds for the Sixers. What do you think this year looks like for the 76ers? Will they move one of these big pieces?
I don't believe they move one of these pieces this year. They got 1 season to see how far they can go. Right now in the Eastern Conference being a revolving door this reminds me of the early 2000s. When MJ left, the East was a revolving door. Then LeBron James went to 9 or 10 straight finals. Now, if you look at the last few seasons, Jacoby, unlikely teams have come out of the East. Even Toronto with Kawhi Leonard winning a championship.